Right, some calls of the day. We start with RobinHood today, Bryn. Goldman upping their estimates. They reiterate their buy rating. Their price target goes to 64 from 56. What do we think about this name? I think you still like it. It's trying for 7 straight days of gains.
Yeah, I still own it. It's just been on a monster move. If you pull up probably like a 10-day, 2-week chart, it's gone from basically 48 to 62 here. So I think Goldman's just following price. I think if you look at the chart, being that it does look parabolic, I think this is very overbought right now. I would definitely not be adding to the position, and I actually had sold some calls at 50, which expire next Friday. So that position, I'm sure, will get called away. I will continue to buy this name on weakness when it pulls back down, maybe even to the 50-day. But right here, it looks really overbought. So I'd be careful adding new positions if you haven't owned it before.
A number of downgrades today for UnitedHealth. Obviously, a stock that's been in the news a lot lately, and for the wrong reasons, because it's been down a tremendous amount of late. There's their chart. You can back that out. Can you back it out a little bit further, please? B of A cuts it to neutral. Ray J cuts it to perform. Morgan Stanley, they reiterated as overweight. The shares are down 17% this week alone, but over year to date, you can see very clearly, really from the earnings. So you were with us yesterday and said, for the meantime, you're hanging in. You actually bought more.
I did, and the reason I bought more is what you see on the screen, which is that it was cut. It was cut by a lot of firms, which doesn't make a lot of sense because the guessing is that you're going to be trading at about 13 times earnings this year and a similar number next year. Growth's supposed to return next year. That's speculation. Of course, the company pulled their guidance. So I don't recall the last time I've seen UnitedHealth at that kind of multiple. So I still have room to add because I'm not sure this is the absolute bottom, but you can't pick sentiment any worse than what you have right now, as again, evidenced in stock performance and in the downgrades. So that's why I was comfortable adding a little bit to it. And I have confidence in Steve Hemsley and John Rex at the company to right the ship.
Vertex, you sold that?
Yeah, and yesterday I came on, I was also uncertain about that. Look, healthcare is pretty tough. I have no idea what's going to happen with drug pricing. I am a big fan of importing drugs. I don't know why the U.S. should subsidize the rest of the world. So I think there's some ground that'll hurt them, and I just don't think there's an appetite to buy pharma here. So I'm staying on the sidelines at this point.
Abbvie got downgraded. It's been a pretty favorite stock with our investment committee. Multiple people own it. Jason, you do it today. Target gets cut and it gets downgraded at Citi.
By the way, just one more thing. I was down about 15% in Vertex, so it wasn't a pretty situation.
Right. Yeah, so for Abbvie, obviously it's been a consistent earnings player. I mean, it's flat for the year now. It's up about 1% in the last month. We'll see what happens with this prescription cost news. I think for me, as it relates to them individually as a name, the pipeline is really strong. Rinvoq and Skyrizi have continued to do really well and move away from Humira, which now has biosimilar opportunities. So for me, I continue to like this stock. We'll continue to evaluate how the macro unfolds, but this is a core name for us.
What about Lowe's? Tells he's cautious into the earnings print. You still own it?
I definitely still own it. So for me, as it relates to kind of a lot of the home improvement stocks, obviously the 10-year, you see what's going on there. Yields continue to rise. That's definitely going to be an overhang for that marketplace as mobility is limited, in this environment. But I like where they are in terms of their spacing. They continue to grow market share in the pro segment. So I continue to like this name. I think this print might be a little bit muddy, but I think going forward, there's some opportunity.
All right.